Well, you're going to think I'm crazy, but that's okay. I wrote this piece. It's really simple. We put it up against picture, and it's sort of a jungle scene. And suddenly, you saw the sun shining through the leaves. And we'd never seen that before. And so we turned the music off and we watched the scene again, and we didn't see the sun. And then, so now we got really excited like little boys. So it was Sunday, so there's nobody around. So we go out and there's a cleaner. And we get the cleaner in and we go, let us show you something. And he saw it too. So, so I've never been able to repeat this, but it sort of really worked. I mean, it turned the visual into something slightly different, So that was, you asked me, what's the best married thing? Now, that piece it's known here as the forbidden cue.
Okay.
Because people tempt this piece of music into every movie. One week I saw it in a cartoon, like an animated movie. I saw it in an urban crime story, and I saw it in a baseball movie. It seemed to fit everything, And I heard versions of it as well over the years, which weren't entirely my versions, if you know what I mean.
Are you flattered when you hear that, or are you...
Yeah, I just go, knock yourself out,
Yeah.
My music is not original. My music is a subtotal of everything I've heard all my life, I started, my mom took me to my first opera when I was 2.5, I grew up with, and my dad was like a jazz fiend, I grew up with, Oscar Peterson and the Modern Jazz Quartet and Joe Pass and, another amazing.
We had the same dad.
Yeah, but did you have the mom who would take you to the opera? She was she could tell any piece of music. She could tell you in the first bar, including like Stockhausen or Henze or the really sort of the modern guys. She just loved music.
My dad loved Oscar Peterson and Joe Pass.
Right.
When I was in 10th grade, he bought me a Joe Pass record, and he said, if you ever learn to play guitar like this, you've accomplished something with your life. And my dad worked for the railroad. He was not a musician.
Right. Wow.
And I was like, what? And then I listened to the record. I was like, wow.
Do you know that Montreux? It's Toots Thielman, Joe Pass, Oscar Peterson, and Louis Bellson.
Louis Bellson. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah. Just amazing.
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels. Thank you.
And then I love electronic music, and then I love... it's the Duke Ellington quote, isn't it? There are only two types of music, good music and bad music.
Yes.
And I absolutely believe in that. Technology has always been at the service of music. The violin is a piece of technology.
Yeah.
Certainly when I was doing Interstellar, I learned a lot about the pipe organ, which, to just quote, by the 17th century was, finished in its design, and it was the most complicated machine humans had ever built until the telephone exchange.
Yeah.
And so something which was at the service of music that could be so advanced and so, it sort of was at the service of religion. I am slightly, bending the rules.
Well, music and religion together.
There's a lot of stuff you can say about religion, but you got to give it that, Those Bach things, those Verdi things, pretty great. There's always somebody in the past, and there will always be somebody in the future who you can be a fan of, and you can sort of bow your head and go, that's genius. That's why I love my band. Because Guthrie plays a solo, and the whole band goes, fuck me, that was amazing,
I like it when he's playing and you're just like,
Yeah, exactly. It really is, and Pedro and Tina and sort of everybody, I love that every time I get this this amazing surprise, this amazing gift of people playing their little socks off in the most brilliant way, and moving me deeply. And it's got nothing to do with that I wrote the stuff, because when they play it, it's not my stuff anymore. It's their stuff. So I think being a composer who's a pretty shitty guitarist and a pretty shitty keyboard player is actually a good thing,